Hey everybody, Lenny Page here, and welcome to the channel. You know, I've been lucky enough to see a lot of incredible machines in my time, but there's something special about motorcycles. It's a different kind of freedom, a direct connection to the road, the engine, the wind. It's a feeling you just don't get in a car. Today we're going to talk about what I think are some of the best motorbikes of all time. These aren't just pieces of metal and rubber, these are bikes that left a permanent mark, that changed the game, and that continue to inspire riders and builders all over the world. Now, picking the best is always tough, right? It's like picking your favorite ice cream flavor. Everyone's got an opinion, and none of them are wrong. But the bikes we're looking at today have something more. They made a significant impact on motorcycle history. They were the first, the fastest, the most beautiful, or the most revolutionary. They set the benchmark that everyone else had to chase. From the roar of a V-twin to the scream of an inline four, these bikes didn't just carry riders, they carried the entire industry forward on their shoulders. So, get comfortable, grab a drink, because we're about to take a ride through history. We're going to look at the engineering marvels, the design icons, and the cultural phenomenons that defined generations of motorcycling. We'll explore what made them so special when they were new and why they're still revered today. These are the bikes that didn't just rev up their engines, they revved up history itself. Let's get into it. All right, let's kick things off with a bike that, and I don't say this lightly, completely changed everything. I'm talking about the 1969 Honda CB 750. Before this bike came along, the motorcycle world was a very different place. Big bikes were mostly British or American twins. They were great, they had character, but let's be honest, they could be a little temperamental. They leaked oil, they vibrated, and starting them could be a real workout. You needed a certain kind of dedication to own one. Honda saw an opportunity to build what they called a super bike, but one that was accessible to everyone. So what did Honda do? They put an inline four-cylinder engine in a mass-produced motorcycle. Now, that wasn't a brand new idea. Some racing bikes had it, but nobody had ever put it in a bike for the average Joe. And it wasn't just the engine. This thing had an electric starter. No more kicking till your leg fell off. It had a front disc brake. Unheard of for a production bike at that price. It was smooth, it was reliable, and it didn't leave a puddle of oil everywhere you parked it. It was a revelation. You could ride it to work every day and then take it on a long trip on the weekend without a second thought. The impact was immediate and massive. It sent the other manufacturers scrambling. They called it the UJM, the Universal Japanese Motorcycle, and it set the template for decades to come. Suddenly, a 750cc four-cylinder bike was the new standard. It was fast, it was comfortable, and it just worked. The CB 750 proved that high performance and everyday usability could go hand in hand. It wasn't just a great motorcycle, it was a turning point that forced the entire industry to step up its game, and for that, it will always be a legend. Now, from a Japanese game changer, let's talk about a true American original, a bike with a silhouette so iconic even people who don't ride know what it is. The Harley-Davidson Sportster. This bike has been in continuous production since 1957. Think about that for a second. Eisenhower was president. That's incredible longevity, and there's a reason for it. The Sportster was Harley's answer to the lighter, faster British bikes that were becoming popular in the 50s. It was meant to be Harley's performance machine, and it delivered. The heart of the Sportster has always been that V-twin engine. First the Ironhead, then the Evolution engine in '86. It's not about having the most horsepower on a spec sheet. It's about the feel, the sound, the torque. It's that potato idol that is pure Americana on two wheels. It's a raw mechanical experience. Over the years, it's been a drag racer, a flat tracker, a cruiser, and the ultimate platform for customization. You can buy a Sportster and turn it into just about anything you can imagine, and that's a huge part of its appeal. It's a blank canvas for riders to express themselves. It's this adaptability that has made it a cultural icon. It was the bike of the rebels, the racers, and the everyday rider. It's been ridden by everyone from Elvis Presley to Evel Knievel. It represents a certain kind of freedom and individuality that is deeply tied to the American identity. While other models have come and gone, the Sportster has endured. It's the entry point for many into the world of Harley-Davidson, and a bike that riders stick with for a lifetime. It's more than a motorcycle, it's a piece of rolling history that you can still go out and buy today. If the Sportster is American muscle, then our next bike is pure Italian passion. I'm talking about the Ducati 916. When this bike came out in 1994, It was like a spaceship had landed in motorcycle showrooms. Nothing, and I mean nothing, looked like it. The designer, Massimo Tamburini, wasn't just designing a motorcycle, he was sculpting a piece of art. The sharp lines, the aggressive stance, the twin underseat exhaust, the single-sided swing arm. It was breathtaking. It looked like it was doing 150 miles an hour just standing still. But here's the thing, it wasn't just a pretty face. The 916 had the performance to back up those incredible looks. That 916cc Desmoquattro L twin engine was a powerhouse, full of character and torque. It dominated the World Superbike Championship for years, with riders like Carl Fogarty becoming legends on its back. The handling was sublime. It was a pure, unadulterated sport bike built for one purpose, to go fast, especially around corners. It demanded a lot from the rider, but the rewards were immense. It was an emotional, visceral experience to ride one hard. The influence of the 916 is impossible to overstate. It completely redefined what a sport bike could be, both in terms of aesthetics and performance. Suddenly, every other manufacturer had to have underseat exhausts and aggressive, sharp styling. You can see the 916's DNA in countless sport bikes that came after it, even today. It raised the bar for the entire category and became the poster bike for a generation of riders. It proved that a motorcycle could be both a dominant racing machine and a work of high art, a true masterpiece. For this next one, we have to turn the clock way back. I mean, all the way back to 1923. We're talking about the Genesis, the very first motorcycle to wear the blue and white roundel, the BMW R32. Now, you have to remember, before this, BMW was in the airplane engine business. After World War I, the Treaty of Versailles said, no more airplane engines for you guys. So they had to pivot. They started making industrial engines, and then their chief designer, a brilliant guy named Max Friz, sketched out a complete motorcycle design in about a month. That design became the R32. What made it so revolutionary wasn't just that it was BMW's first bike, it was the layout. Friz took their flat twin boxer engine, which they were already building for other companies, and turned it 90 degrees. Instead of having the cylinders run front to back in the frame, he mounted them transversely, sticking out into the airflow. This meant both cylinders got equal cooling, which was a huge deal for reliability back then. Then he bolted a transmission directly to the engine and used a shaft drive to power the rear wheel. No messy chains to deal with. This engine and drivetrain layout was so logical, so elegant, and so effective. This fundamental design, the boxer engine and the shaft drive, became BMW's signature. It's a blueprint they still use to this very day, 100 years later. Think about that. The R32 wasn't the fastest or the most powerful bike of its time, but it was incredibly well-engineered, reliable, and durable. It established BMW's reputation for quality and innovation right from the very beginning. Every single BMW Boxer that has ever been built, from the legendary GS adventure bikes to the modern R series, owes its existence to the brilliant, forward-thinking design of the R32. It's the granddaddy of them all. Let's jump forward to the late 90s. The sport bike world was in an arms race. The bikes were getting incredibly powerful, but they were also getting bigger and heavier. Then, in 1998, Yamaha dropped a bomb called the YZF R1. The goal for the R1 wasn't just to have the most horsepower, it was to create the ultimate cornering machine. The engineers were obsessed with mass centralization and creating a compact, lightweight package. They wanted to build a bike with the power of a 1000cc machine, but the sharp, agile handling of a 600. To do this, they came up with some brilliant engineering. The biggest innovation was the stacked gearbox. By placing the transmission's main shaft and output shaft vertically instead of horizontally, they could make the engine much shorter from front to back. This allowed them to use a longer swing arm for better traction and stability, all while keeping the wheelbase incredibly short and compact. The result was a bike that weighed less than the 600s of the day, but had a blistering 150 horsepower. It was a paradigm shift. The R1 completely rewrote the rulebook for superbikes. It handled like nothing else on the road. It was razor-sharp, flickable, and immensely powerful. It forced every other manufacturer to go back to the drawing board. Suddenly, it wasn't enough to just add more power. Your bike had to be light, it had to be compact, and it had to handle. The 98 R1 set the template for the modern superbike as we know it today. It kicked off a new era of development focused on chassis dynamics and usable performance. and its impact is still felt in every open-class sport bike on the showroom floor. And there you have it, 5 machines that didn't just move people down the road, they moved the entire world of motorcycling forward. From the revolutionary reliability of the CB 750 to the artistic fury of the Ducati 916, each one of these bikes left an indelible mark. They are so much more than the sum of their parts. They represent moments in time, engineering breakthroughs, and a passion for two-wheeled freedom that connects us all as riders. It's a history built on innovation, style, and a little bit of rebellion. Of course, this is just my list, and I know there are so many other incredible bikes out there that could have made the cut. What about the Vincent Black Shadow, the Triumph Bonneville, or the Suzuki Hayabusa? The list of legends is a long one, and that's the beauty of it. Everyone has that one bike that speaks to them, the one that was on their bedroom wall poster, the one that started it all for them. That's what makes this community so great, the shared stories and the different passions we all have. So, now I want to hear from you. What's your all-time favorite motorbike? What's that one bike you'd put in your dream garage if you could only pick one? Jump down into the comments and let me know. I read every single one, and I love hearing your stories. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and taking this little ride through history. It's been a real pleasure. Until next time, keep the shiny side up.